Welcome to MWEB's Entrepreneur Zone. Today I've got Jerry Bibombe with me from Kayex Global. Welcome, Jerry.
Thank you.
Tell us a bit more about your business.
Okay, our business name is Kayex Global, and we are importers and exporters, and we more involved into commodity trades. So we export fruit, vegetables, whatever commodity, especially food commodities, from South Africa into the rest of the world. Our main business is more involved into West Africa and East Africa, and that's where we have more operation there, and that's what we do basically.
And how long have you been involved with this business?
We've been involved since 2004. It's been 9 years, and so we're keeping going.
And how did you see the opportunity to get involved?
Well, first of all, I was involved with another company, but it was more into a channeling business. And then I spotted an opportunity through a supplier. In fact, it was a farmer, in fact, who advised me if I could start my own business. So with the contacts that I had, and I had now to trying to create an idea and an opportunity so that I can try to create that business. And from that point, then I sold my small flat I had here in Cape Town. Then with that money, the profit I made, then I started to create opportunity for myself and build up my own business.
And over that 9-year period, we've seen a serious recession. How's that affected your business?
Well, it did really affect badly. I remember in 2009, so we had really, in 1 year, during that year, actually, we had nothing. In fact, we didn't have inquiries, we didn't have nothing because most of our customers, they didn't really want to take a risk into placing orders, and it was very bad. So we had really to deal with that. So also, it kind of like helped us to strategize our business and move forward.
In your business, the secret to the success of a business like yours is in the networks that you can build. How do you go about building that network?
Well, we build that network through obviously through trade shows, and we participate in a lot of networking meetings, conference, and from that, then we gather all the information, all the data, all the relationship we having with people, and then we start the contacts and contact people, and then selling our business. Yeah.
So it requires a fair amount of travel on your...
Yes, it does.
Tell me a little bit more about South Africa being competitive in an export market.
Well, South Africa is very competitive. A lot of people, the trend that we see in most of the countries, especially in Africa, they tend to the first country that they want to target is first South Africa, because South Africa offers a lot of products. So South Africa is very well positioned to sell itself, and there's a lot of opportunity here where we can sell our product out there into the world. Yeah.
And you have a strong presence in Africa, and Africa is obviously a growing opportunity.
Yes.
Tell us about some of the opportunities and the difficulties of doing business up into Africa.
There are many opportunities to do business in Africa. The problem with that is just the logistics problem. We have a lot of the politics problem, so there's a lot of red tape as well, and also a bit of corruption. But there's a lot of opportunities. We can do more if we put money into it. The niche market is that because there's a lot of people in Africa, they don't really have what we have in South Africa. So we can offer more product to them, and also we can also try to understand their value, because that's very important also to understand the culture. What's really required and to supply those products.
And in terms of your business model, do you buy and then export, or do you export on behalf of clients? How does the model work?
Well, our model works that we buy on behalf of the clients, and then we export them. So basically we help them, and then we organize all the logistics and all the freight requirements, all the law applicable to the country of export, and then we ship the goods. So there's a lot of process involved, and but we make sure that the clients get these goods and at the right condition.
And you've grown your business. You started on your own, and now you've got a number of people that work for you. How do you make sure it's quite technical, and there's a lot that can go wrong in transporting stuff? How do you make sure that the people that you work with are able to deliver a good service to your clients?
When there's mistake, you lose money, and you lose the customer. So we make sure that you know what you're doing, and that's very, very important. And secondly, also, you have to know the culture of the client. So you have to know who's the client you're dealing with, and that's very, very important. So to bring value, you really need to be strong in terms of your communication, in terms of how you handle the process, and so forth.
Jerry, I suspect that one of the difficulties when you're starting a business like yours is that you have to build trust with people, and it's large sums of money. How do you go about doing that from the outset?
It's correct what you're saying. It's all about trust because you find yourself in a position where you're going to handle a lot of money on behalf of someone. So to go about it, so you need to create an environment where you need very well communication. So you really need to make sure that the clients understand where you come from, and also we also need to understand the client. So it's two-way thing, and to go about it, so you just need to make sure, create that strategy where you have to sit with the clients and make sure that the clients understand you and he understands you, so that you can be able to supply the goods that the clients want for his bottom line. So.
And over that 9-year period, a lot has changed, and I'm sure technology has started to play a bigger and bigger part in your business. Can you tell us a bit about that?
We have changed a lot of contents on our website so that we can make it appealing, so we can be more out there into the world, so that people can see that we're serious what we're doing. We went more into social media, so into LinkedIn mostly, because obviously Facebook and other people, product like Twitter, so won't really work in Africa, so it's still there, but that's not really our focus.
Jerry, you've said how important it is to understand the cultural values of different countries that you're working in. How do you cross the language barrier?
We trade mostly also in French, so I can speak French very well, and I can understand as well Arabic. I speak a little bit of Arabic as well. So the language is very, very important in terms of business. Obviously, the English, which is the main part, but to cross that barrier, to make sure that the customer understands you and trusts you, you need to speak his language. Yeah, that's very important.
The other thing that you mentioned is that one of the difficulties of doing business in Africa is the corruption. How do you deal with that?
Corruption is a big thing in Africa, in the rest of Africa. In Africa, it's a big thing. And to deal with it, obviously, you need to make sure that you have all the mechanism in place where in fact, you cannot actually say, well, it's 0% corruption, but there will always going to be corruption. But to deal with it, you really need to bring the clients on the table and to discuss the various options and the risk involved into doing such a thing.
Jerry, one of the things that you can't control is when your containers go missing. How do you manage that?
First of all, how we manage that, we look at the terms and conditions that we are signed up with the customer. So we're going to make sure that the customer understand the income terms, which is actually the terms that we use in international trade. And if the customer sign up for cost and insurance for it, so we're going to make sure that we claim that from the insurance. But if the customer doesn't sign up for that and goes for FOB or freight on board, then we make sure that we covered also that insurance. So both ways, the customer and us as the consignee or the shipper need to make sure that we covered by the insurance.
Jerry, you've been going 9 years. What's next for you?
I'm an entrepreneur, so I always have creative ideas and innovation. So next things to do is actually to create my own product, and so that I can be able to dispatch my own product and to make sure that I control the whole thing, and that's where I want to go.
Jerry, that brings us on to the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
Well, the best advice was that to keep calm and to focus on what I'm doing.
And your best moment as an entrepreneur?
It's when I had control of everything, that my shipment went well and I got my money.
And your biggest mistake?
Not to listen.
What quality do you look for in people that you work with?
Look, innovation, creative ideas.
What do you think an entrepreneur needs to succeed?
To understand who he is, and also to be more focus driven, and also be patient.
And what's the biggest inspiration to you as a small business owner?
Well, a small inspiration is I read a book called Business Proverbs.
What would you do differently?
Listen more, and I'll do things in a relaxed way, not to push hard, but to work smarter.
And what makes South Africa a great place to own a small business?
A lot of intelligent people here in South Africa, and also there's a lot of diversity in terms of culture, in terms of background, and I think South Africa is the right place to do business.
What keeps you awake at night?
All the questions I receive and the emails, the tons of emails I do receive during the night, so I go through it sometimes during the night.
And what gets you going in the morning?
Courage, perseverance.
Jerry, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you. We look forward to the coming weeks. We will bring you further South African entrepreneurs. I'm Paul Hobden. Thank you and goodbye.